Coming up on Naperville News 17, the public gets a look at the latest concepts for Fifth Avenue. The Chamber gives a fond farewell to Nikki Anderson. And the Grand Mirror Ball winners are revealed. Hello everyone, I'm Kim Pierce. Thanks for joining us for this week's Naperville News. The two designs for the Fifth Avenue Development Project have been condensed into one baseline concept. Naperville News 17's Christine Lena has the details.
With the DuPage Children's Museum staying put on Washington Street, Ryan Companies combined its two designs from last year for the Fifth Avenue Development Project into one baseline concept. And one major change is the addition of affordable housing.
The new concept addresses affordable and workforce housing, so we've added that. 50 to 70 affordable units and 20 to 25 workforce. So those weren't in the previous concept. And we have taken the density on the multifamily from about 400 down to 275 to 300.
The addition was in response to Naperville City Council tasking Ryan Companies with creating 20% affordable housing in the development. Rent would be between $800 and $1,100 per month, but some residents were concerned with its location at the Parkview lot.
I'm all for affordable housing, but we can't jam it right in the middle of town where we have a historic, small schools that are overfilled as it is. We have Washington Junior High, contains the fifth grade class from Napier Elementary because it's overfilled.
Another ask from council, add more commuter parking. Ryan delivered with 253 more spaces. While making some additions, the baseline concept also made cutbacks. The density of the 13-acre project decreased, but residents were still worried about the scale and traffic impact on the neighborhood. Yet a few were optimistic for the baseline concept's look, larger public plaza space for potential outdoor events, and the 32,000 square foot increase in green space.
Folks are wrapping their minds around this and getting excited. There's still a lot of concerns. We heard a lot of that tonight, but that's okay. We may not get everybody to agree. We're not going to get everybody to agree, but we think there is something in this plan for everybody.
That something in McDonald's mind could be the sustainability factor. His team hopes to make the project a WELL-certified community, which would be a first for the state and only second in the country for supporting community health, wellness, and social engagement in sustainable ways.
We believe this development can be the example for a sustainable, a wellness-focused, and a collaborative effort.
Ryan Companies estimates the baseline concept would cost over $287 million. That's almost $66 million less than the previous concepts. They'll continue conducting traffic and market studies as they work with the steering committee on the baseline concept in the next week. Reporting for Naperville News 17, I'm Christine Lena.
The baseline concept will be presented to Naperville City Council on October 1st. For the first time in nearly 25 years, the College of DuPage's Faculty Association has voted to authorize a strike. The 304-member union can now legally go on strike if they choose to, after first giving a 10-day intent to strike notice to the college. The group had not yet done so at the time of this recording.
The reason that we decided to take a vote like this at this time is not because we want to go on strike. It is because we want to empower our negotiation team to be able to decide when and if a strike will in fact be necessary.
The CODFA has been negotiating with the COD Board of Trustees for a new contract since March, and the current one expired on August 14th. The two groups entered mediation in order to reach an agreement, but thus far, much has been left on the bargaining table. CODFA has been negotiating for salary increases, a change in promotion structure, and enhancement of faculty evaluations. COD's administration says they hope to reach a compromise and avoid a strike. Board of Trustees Chairman Frank Napolitano said in a statement, "As often is the case with contract negotiations, the result of CODFA's vote to authorize a strike was anticipated. But we are still encouraged by the tenor of the discussions. In fact, college leadership and the Board of Trustees are confident both sides can reach an agreement that is fair and mindful of the best interests of our students." If the CODFA does go on strike, it would be the first in the group's history. At the time of this recording, there are 2 more mediation agreement meetings scheduled. J. Crew is leaving downtown Naperville. The Downtown Naperville Alliance announced that the national retail chain is closing their location at the Main Street Promenade this month. In-store shoppers at that location can currently get 60% off purchases, with J. Crew Rewards members receiving an extra 20% off. The store had been at the Main Street Promenade location since 2014. Katie Wood, Executive Director of the Downtown Naperville Alliance, says this is a reminder to shoppers that they need to show their support by shopping in stores to make sure their favorites stay. And though J. Crew is closing, there is a new opening in town. Outdoor outfitter and accessory store Filson will be coming to Jefferson Avenue on September 25th. Thinking of going solar? Now the City of Naperville can help subsidize that investment through its renewable energy program. Naperville News 17's Casey Krajewski has more.
At the most recent Naperville City Council meeting, the Diets considered expanding Naperville's renewable energy program to get residents more involved.
To me, this is the most no-brainer thing we could approve. The Public Utility Advisory Board has talked about this for years. The Electric Department has talked about this for years. So I'm in 125% support of this.
The program began in 2004 and only included commercial customers, incentivizing renewable practices like installing solar panels. But now, residents can also qualify for an incentive of up to $1,000. City staff's Lucy Podlesny said as the energy industry changes, they'll continue to modify the program.
This is a first phased-in approach of it. It's to make probably a necessary adjustment that hasn't been done in the last 15 years. And there will be tons of changes coming down the line, and we're committed to looking at this continuously and adjusting it where needed.
It was a tight vote, but council decided 5-4 to make the changes to the program. Mayor Steve Chirico was one of the votes against the proposal, saying the program needs even stronger incentives for residents.
I don't think they're given enough. The $1,000 cap is just not enough of an incentive. I think it should be based on, per kilowatt hour. Again, 300 per kilowatt hour makes it considerably more incentivized to invest.
Chirico also said there needs to be more focus in the program on conserving energy to go along with using renewable energy sources. Reporting for Naperville News 17, I'm Casey Krajewski.
It was recently announced the Department of Public Works building will have solar panels installed on its roof to go with the panels on the Municipal Center roof, which have been there since 2016. After the break, walkers unite to help find a cure for Alzheimer's.
Edward Elmhurst Health presents this Healthy Driven Minute.
Cholesterol is a waxy, fat-like substance that is found in our body, but also in foods that we consume. It helps us create healthy cells, helps us make different hormones in our body as well as vitamins. An unhealthy amount of cholesterol in our body can actually create plaques in our arteries, which puts a person at risk of heart disease and stroke. In order to lower high cholesterol or avoid high cholesterol, you want to have a heart-healthy diet, so that includes a diet that's low in fat and high in fiber. So think of fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, whole grains. Also, regular exercise is very important. Avoid smoking. It's important to have your cholesterol checked regularly, at least every 5 years. However, if you are someone who has a known high level of cholesterol, it's important to check every 6 months at a minimum.
For more information, visit eehealth.org.
The Naperville Area Chamber of Commerce held a toast for its members and bid farewell to their leader. Christian Kenazal has the story.
A huge smile ran across the face of Nikki Anderson as she watched a video about her time as president and CEO of the Naperville Area Chamber of Commerce.
I'm passionate about problem solving, so I love to come in and see what I can fix and leave whatever I was working on better than the way I found it.
The Chamber hosted its 5th annual Toast to Our Members event at North Central College, but this year held special meaning as they also bid farewell to their leader.
And she's just Nikki Anderson, period, right? I feel like that needs to be the banner. But she's a friend, she's a mentor, she's a colleague, and there's change, and I'm just going to miss her.
During her 5.5-year tenure, Anderson has hit milestones and transformed the chamber, From raising over $250,000 to improve an internal and external communication system to rebranding the Chamber's logo a few years back. Mayor Steve Cherico praised Anderson, saying she's not only been invaluable to the Chamber, but also the city of Naperville.
Everybody benefits when we have a healthy and strong economy. And that takes leadership, and sometimes it takes somebody who has the willingness to put themselves out there to do the right thing, and Nikki has been that person for us.
As a reward for her efforts with the Naperville J.C. Smart Park, members of her staff honored Anderson with the future plaque that will be displayed in the park. Anderson couldn't hold back her emotions, wiping away tears from her face and giving her staff a big group hug. Though she hasn't announced what she'll do next, Anderson knows because of her experience with the Chamber, she's better from it.
I know one thing for sure, we're all here to serve one another. And if there's one thing that I've learned from all of you is that life is pretty empty without purpose and passion. This chamber, you all gave me passion to do my best every day. And I know that for the next CEO, you'll do the same.
For Naperville News 17, I'm Christian Canizal.
The Naperville Area Chamber of Commerce is currently interviewing applicants to fill Nikki's position. Edward Hospital is also getting a new president and CEO. Come October 1st, Joseph Dant will take the helm of Naperville's campus. He served in community health care since 1997 and for the past 2.5 years has been the executive vice president of Edwards Health Ventures in the Physician and Ambulatory Network.
And it has been such a great fit for me here with my own personal values and the values of the organization that I joined 2.5 years ago, and all the support that I have from the team here really makes me a lot more excited than it does nervous. So I'm really looking forward to a new challenge.
Dant takes the seat as current president and CEO as Bill Kottman is retiring. Kottman was in the position since July 2016 and has served in other senior executive roles for the hospital and Edward Elmhurst Health for 28 years. 2 local mental health service providers are joining forces. SamariCare Counseling and Samaritan Counseling Center are merging to become one of Chicagoland's largest providers of secular and spiritually integrated counseling care. Together, the 2 organizations will provide mental health counseling, educational programming, and consulting services to children, adults, seniors, and families in 6 Illinois counties. Their union will serve more clients, attract and retain even more highly qualified clinicians and staff, and increase funding opportunities. Nearly 1 in 5 adults in the U.S. lives with a mental illness, according to the National Institute of Mental Health. Naperville's Walk to End Alzheimer's raises money each year to help those afflicted with the disease in our community. Our own Casey Krajewski highlights one of those families.
It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too, Mom.
Holly Riordan's mother, Nancy, is one of 5.8 million Americans living with Alzheimer's disease.
The decline, to me, was pretty rapid when it finally hit.
Nancy currently lives at the Auberge at Naperville, a senior living community that specializes in residents with Alzheimer's and other dementias. There's been improvement since Nancy moved to Auberge,
And there's Larry.
but she still struggles to even remember family members' names.
It's been hard. I feel like I lost my mom 6 years ago. So that's the hard thing when you're dealing with Alzheimer's and the other dementias.
Though she knows her mother's condition won't improve, Holly still fights to find a cure, helping to organize Naperville's Walk to End Alzheimer's, put on by the Alzheimer's Association. This year's event drew out 2,000 walkers who raised more than $400,000, most of which will go to research and patient care.
I think we've come a very long way, but it's one of those things where we may not know how far we have to go. I think we've learned a tremendous amount in the more than 2 decades I've been caring for people with Alzheimer's, and there's a lot of hope.
That hope is seen in the colored flowers walkers carry to show their connection to Alzheimer's. Blue for someone fighting the disease, yellow if you're caring for someone with Alzheimer's, and purple if someone you love died from the disease. But recently, they've added a new color to their garden. A white flower symbolizes the first Alzheimer's survivor, which they hope they will find sooner rather than later.
Alzheimer's disease is managed. We don't yet have a cure, although the money donated here today and the work that's going on is trying to cure it. The first person to be cured of Alzheimer's will certainly be in a clinical trial someday, hopefully someday soon.
Holly's fight for her mother's memory continues. motivated by the belief that Nancy still has a lot to give, despite her disease.
The more that I can continue to enrich her life with things, the more she's still there. It's not like she's the same mom, but she's still, a wonderful human being.
For Naperville News 17, I'm Casey Krajewski.
According to the Alzheimer's Association, someone is diagnosed with a disease in the U.S. every 65 seconds. Coming up, no faux pas for these pups after they're trained to behave.
Welcome back to the game show, Who Is It? Today our contestant Sally is in the process of figuring out which one of our panelists is the real Crime Stopper. Sally, you have one more question for each panelist, then you will need to decide.
Number 1, when I call Crime Stoppers with a tip, do I need to leave my name?
Absolutely not. You remain anonymous.
Number 2, if my tip leads to an arrest, what's in it for me?
A cash reward for up to $1,000 for one thing.
And number 3, what is the Crime Stoppers tip line?
630-420-6006.
So who is it? Oh, sorry, time's up. Sally, we need your decision. Who's the real Crime Stopper?
They all are.
You're right, but how did you know?
'Cause I'm a Crime Stopper too.
The DuPage County Sheriff's Office has a new tool for performing full body scans. The Tech 84 Intercept X-ray imaging system can be used to check suspects for firearms, knives, drugs, or any other security threats, all in just 4 seconds. Once the scan is complete, objects like a badge and a microphone show up on a screen a different shade of color than that of a person's body.
And there's the skin, and this is why this is so important. What this is right here was that. It's a bullet. That was hidden behind several layers of our thickest belt. It penetrated it like the belt wasn't even there.
The $150,000 machine is meant to stop demeaning body searches on inmates entering the jail. In addition, it can also scan other things besides people.
The soft surface mattresses can be abused to hide contraband. So we are also planning on bringing mattresses through, putting them in the machine to get any existing contraband out of the environment.
The body scanner has already paid off as the sheriff's office caught someone trying to smuggle narcotics inside the jail. Quick thinking and acting from an intern at the DuPage County Sheriff's Office led to the arrest of a wanted fugitive. On September 9th, intern Frank Ficarra was on a patrol with Corporal Eduardo Castillo. When the pair drove past a restaurant, Ficarra noticed a vehicle that matched the description of a suspect's car. Castillo approached the car while Ficarra waited inside the squad car. The suspect, who was wanted on a warrant, began to actively resist arrest.
Seeing this, Ficarra, unarmed and wearing a Kevlar vest, jumped from the squad to assist our Corporal Castillo. Seeing that he was numbered and quite possibly facing a very large adversary, the suspect complied, but during the struggle, a knife and illicit drugs fell from his pants to the ground.
The suspect was ultimately arrested and now faces additional charges. Because of his help on the case, with his family and friends in the room, the 22-year-old intern received the Commendation of Excellence Award for his efforts.
Thank you for your heroic service as an intern to our Sheriff's Office. Thank you, sir.
I wasn't expecting anything like this after that happened, but it really means a lot just with knowing that this is an internship for me. It's an unpaid position, but at the same time, I can still get recognized for my actions.
Castillo said he wouldn't mind teaming up with him full time.
My unit that I'm in could use another person. So if Frank gets hired, maybe come back to CRU.
Some local kids got a lesson in positive reinforcement, courtesy of some local canines. Our own Casey Krajewski has the scoop.
Sit, stay, and come. Those are just a few of the commands these young dog trainers practiced at the Naperville Area Humane Society. It's all a part of the canine manners training. While the dogs certainly enjoy the extra treats,
Can you sit?
Good boy.
It's just as much fun for the kids.
I love playing with animals. It's my #1 favorite thing to do. When I grow up, I really want to be like a vet tech or something and help out animals. And I just think it's really fun helping out animals who don't have a home and hopefully help them get a home.
I like how we get to spend a lot of time with the dogs and the cats, and we also get to teach them tricks, and then it helps me with my dogs, and I really like it so far.
The 5-week course teaches kids that each dog has its own personality and will respond differently to training techniques.
We always emphasize positive reinforcement training for our adopters and kids in our program. So we always want to encourage rewarding behavior that we want to see and ignoring or redirecting behavior we don't want.
The training helps the sheltered dogs get one step closer to earning their Canine Good Citizen certificates. But it's also about making connections.
Train the dogs and just interact with them and make a relationship with the dogs just to get to know them and have a lot of fun.
Teaching all the dogs some new tricks. For Naperville News 17, I'm Casey Krajewski.
Naperville Area Humane Society holds canine manners training programs every fall and spring. Up next, get your jam on at the Fry Y.
Welcome to Business Connection. I'm Liz Spencer.
Business Connection is really good PR for us to get our names out there because we're new.
1 year later, my business has increased tremendously this year, so I really appreciate that I had the opportunity to interview on Business Connection.
So tell me a little bit about your law firm.
I talked to some friends. They said it was great for their business, and so I did it, and it was great. I've seen a lot of calls and emails, gotten a lot of traction on Facebook.
I actually have one client. The reason he agreed to meet with me was because he watched the video on the website. That right there made it worth doing, and so I recommend it to people all the time that if they don't have a video, they need to do a video, and they need to do it with the NCTV 17.
Walk into Studio 2 at the Fry YMCA and you get hit with it.
Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, let's go!
Pure energy.
The energy, the people, it really truly starts your weekend because if you work out or do different work during the week, different type of exercises, this is kind of, for me, it's kind of like my reward.
I love to connect with the members, so they bring the energy to the class and I feed off of it, so it's a give and take.
Victoria Shannon is the instructor for this Friday morning class of Les Mills Body Jam, an international up-tempo choreographed dance workout.
We are a very special group. This program is not found in a lot of facilities, so we are really blessed to be able to offer it to our members. It is a super fun program. It's well choreographed by Gandalf Archer Mills. The music and the choreography sync so well together that it's almost kind of seamless.
So if you miss something, don't worry, you'll be able to get it again, and we practice it over and over again.
It just makes my heart so happy to be in there dancing with people of all levels, all different talents, and then having Victoria with her energy just makes it over the top.
And that energy definitely goes to use, because it truly is quite a workout.
I think dance always brings that mind-body connection. So while you're learning the choreography, your mind is actually kind of working, and then you're obviously working your muscles, your heart rate is up, so you get that full body workout.
For Janelle Keeley and Julie Cercello, who have been in the Les Mills Body Jam program for a decade, the class wasn't something they necessarily searched for so much as the class seemed to find them.
I accidentally stumbled into it 12 years ago. I thought I was walking into a weightlifting class and there had been a format change, and all of a sudden I heard this music and I see this instructor up there dancing. I'm like, I have finally found my place at the YMCA.
12, 13 years ago, I was lifting weights or doing something, treadmill or the pool or something, and my husband said, you need to check out this class on Monday night, as we were here, and I didn't think anything of it at the time. This other instructor who we then became friends with, I watched it one time and she kind of waved me in, and I didn't realize it was a dance class at first, and I was hooked, immediately hooked.
And now, they're regulars, and they have a friend who often joins them in class, Brian Dez.
I really liked it. It is really nice with Victoria. It is so nice to be in my class. I really feel like my energy coming, so I'm really glad. I just want to say thank you to Victoria. She's really awesome.
Kelly Aglon was once a student too, but now teaches the program on Monday nights. The diversity of her students exemplifying why Les Mills Body Jam is popular across the globe.
It's the most special thing you can imagine. It's really great to find things that bring people together, especially when they look like they don't have a care in the world, and that's how people are in this class. They just lose themselves, they smile, they're happy to move. They don't care what they look like. No one's thinking about them. The lights are down sometimes in this class. We're all just here to be spirited and have a mini party.
I love to look around the room and see, like you said, every color, every race, every age, every size, every shape. And the coolest thing is I feed off the energy when we're all dancing as one unit. I don't know, it just does something to like fill my soul and starts my weekend off perfectly.
That's why, while people from all walks of life may literally walk into Studio 2, they'll likely be leaving it dancing, ready for the weekend. Reporting for Naperville News 17, I'm Kevin Jackman.
And if you have an idea for a sports story feature, you can let us know at newstips@nctv17.com. Some local celebrities hit the dance floor for a good cause. There was no split decision at this year's Dancing with the Celebrities. 7 local stars showed off their moves in hopes of spinning their performance into a grand mirror ball trophy. But in the end,
the winner, or audience favorite, is Mr. Paul Novak.
It was T2 Asset Management's Paul Novak and his professional partner, Jeanna-Lila Maggie, who lifted the trophy after their routine full of show-stopping moves. The annual competition was held at Mesa and Sabika and serves as a fundraiser for the Career and Networking Center, which provides resources to the unemployed and underemployed in the Naperville area. If you'd like to watch the full routines of all 7 celebrity dancers, you can tune in to NCTV 17 on September 25th or September 28th at 7 p.m. And that's what's happening right here in your neighborhood, Naperville. We'll see you next week. Until then, you can catch up on local news by signing up for our NCTV 17 news update delivered right to your inbox Monday through Friday. Sign-up information is right on our website, nctv17.com.
This week's Naperville News 17 is brought to you in part by the following sponsors. This program is partially funded by a grant from the City of Naperville.